Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is Karen Kong, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Ottawa, Ontario, and welcome to This or That Thursday. So every week I try to post 2 cards in my Facebook group and my Facebook page, and I ask my crafting community to vote on a card for me to make live on Thursday mornings. And so here we are. I'm just going to get my computer set up so that I can see your comments while I'm crafting. Say hi if you're watching, or say hi in the replay and tell me where you're watching from. All right. So every time I start a Facebook Live, it's always a little bit of a gamble as to what kind of problems I'm going to run into. So I just started doing lives on my Facebook page, and it's mostly the same. Good morning, Sandra. But every time I start it, it asks me for a description, and so I enter my description, and then I turn my phone sideways, and it disappears. So then I'm like, okay, I have to do this again. So anyways, all right, I've got the video going. I'm just gonna make it bigger. All right, so now I've got my computer up and going. Oh, now I remember what I forgot to do. I forgot to show you guys which card we are making. I like to do that at the beginning of the video so that when you look back at the thumbnail, you can see which card is being made in that live video, but I forgot. So still getting back into the groove of things, I guess. It's already October, and I still have to remember stuff. Still trying to remember how to do everything. Okay, so I will get started on crafting. I'm going to move my camera over to my desktop. So close your eyes for a minute while I move things around. And hopefully I won't make you sick. Let's see. There we go. All right, so this week's card, I'm using that One Horse Sleigh DSP again. It's just so gorgeous. I am almost done one pack. I can't believe, like, I used a bunch for my class, and then I used some more. But look, I'm almost done this pack. That's amazing. Hey, Shannon, haven't seen you in a while. That's great. You could join in today. So yeah, my One Horse Sleigh pack is almost done, but I do have one more. And you know what? I left all the stamps on my Stamparatus for that I set up for my class, and I still have high hopes that I'll be able to make another set before I have to take them off and put them away. So I still have these on here. I'm going to leave them there because I have them set up specifically in particular spots. But let's go over the card. Okay, so this card uses this DSP background. So basically what I did was I cut out a section of it and I embossed a piece of vellum with the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder, which is right here. It's great, I love it. And I laid it on top, and in order to hide the adhesive, I created a frame to go around it and to frame my picture, and I added a little bunny rabbit. I don't know if you guys remember this bunny rabbit. Yes, Sandra, this is the vellum cardstock that I used. I didn't use, there's another one that comes in like this pack, the Lovely Layers. I don't think it's big enough actually, even if I used well, it would just be big enough. I'd be interested to see how that looks. Maybe I'll try one of these sheets today. Yeah, I think these sheets, the ones that come in the Lovely Layers, I think is slightly thinner, if I'm not mistaken, but it is vellum still. So I embossed the vellum and put it underneath the frame, and I feel like this card is still missing something. There is something, I need some kind of bling or something, I don't know, but I tried all sorts of things yesterday and I could not find something I was happy with, but maybe you guys will have some suggestions. Yes, Sandra, that bunny is from Snowman Magic. He is perfect for this little scene, I think. Okay, so that's basically it. I put several layers together, and then I fussy cut my sentiment, and I embossed both of them to make them stand out, and that's basically it. It's not a hard card. I think the hardest part was maybe figuring out what part of my DSP I was going to cut out, but it had to be bright enough to show up behind the vellum, because if you chose anything darker, it wouldn't show through as well. Yeah, I think the other one, yes, you're right. I'm hoping this one will emboss a little bit better. This one is good, but I think a thinner vellum will let the DSP show through better. So let's try that out. Okay, so let's start with the first things first, which is my card base, and it's just a regular card base. Oh, anybody who's joining for the first time, I always give my measurements in the video description after the live is done, so don't worry about writing things down. I will write it all out for you. So it's just a regular card base, so an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, cardstock, in Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I used like the same size frame, like it's it fits the front of the cardstock exactly, and it is a quarter sheet, so basically 4.25 by 5.5. And I have the last half from yesterday's crafting leftovers. I don't have to cut that one. Okay, so we'll do the card base. I have my frame, but then I need to cut my vellum and my DSP, and then we'll do some stamping. Okay, so let me just make some room, and we'll bring out my paper trimmer. Yeah, vellum cardstock. I don't know. I didn't notice it for the longest time, and I think it was actually Sandra who pointed it out to me. I didn't even realize it. I thought they only came in these tiny little sheets here. I didn't even realize there was a whole cardstock portion. So, okay, so this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'm going to cut it in half at 5.5 inches. Okay, so on my paper trimmer, I can measure and cut at the same time, and then I can score too, because it has a scoring blade. I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to score again at the halfway mark, which is 4.25 inches. Yeah, the 8.5 by 11 vellum, I believe, is the vellum cardstock. I don't think there's a different one. Okay, so there's my card base. I'm going to set it aside. Okay, so I have my frame. I don't need to cut that. I'm just going to use this as a guide. I'm going to pull out one of the vellum pieces here and see how much room I have to play with, because I don't want it to be too close to the edge. I have just enough room. Okay, so what happens with vellum, when you put adhesive on it on the back side, you can obviously see right through it. So you're going to see the adhesive. So I want to be able to hide the adhesive with my frame, and I think it'll just fit. So I'm going to leave this as is, the size, and then I need to cut my my scenery out. Okay, so I wanted to have just enough of the ground showing in my picture. So what I'm going to do is just cut off, I think it's just a 1/2 inch at the bottom. So if you see this, the really handy thing about the Stampin' Up! Trimmer is that you can measure on both sides. So there's a little bit of the ruler on the right side. So this time I want to just cut off a 1/2 inch this way. So I'm going to use the right side ruler to help me measure that out. Okay, so I've cut off a 1/2 inch. Now I only need it to be 5.5 inches wide, and I might even cut it a little bit shorter, because if you can see, if it doesn't line up exactly, you can see it peeking out, like there's just a sliver peeking out on this side. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to cut it just very slightly shorter once I'm done. So I think I just took the left-hand side so I could get the little red leaves in the ground. So I want it 5.5 inches wide. So instead of cutting 5.5 exactly, I'm going to cut like maybe 1/8 of an inch shorter. So instead of 5.5, I'm going to go 1/8 inch shorter so that it will stay under the frame this time. And then I need to cut off the top part so that it fits in here. So this is 4 1/4, and again I'm going to cut just a little bit shorter than 4 1/4. I'll just do 1/8 of an inch shorter. Okay, so now this will fit underneath my frame with a little bit of extra room for the frame to cover it. I think that'll be great. All right, I think that's all the cutting I need to do for now. Let me put this away. All right, let's emboss the vellum and see how that looks. It's just so amazing to emboss vellum. I want to try it on a whole bunch of things. Okay, so here's my cut and embosser, and because this is a 3D embossing folder, I don't need any of these pieces. So if you ever forget what what layers you need for the embossing, you can just refer back to the instructions right on these mats. Okay, so let's get out the embossing folder. Okay, and I want the side that, like, there was some debate at the class when I held my class as to which side was the right side up. So I don't think it matters. Because there's one end, this side has like a whole bunch more snow than this side. So I guess if it's the end of the snowfall, then you would want this at the bottom, heavier snow here. But if it's the start of the snow, then the heavier snow would be at the top. So I want to be, I want my snow to be more at the top this time. So I'm going to place my vellum closer to this section, which has less snow on it, and then I'll turn it upside down. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. Sandra says, you're gonna hoard it, basically. You're not gonna cut them up because you're hoarding it. Well, if you just use the ones that I made, like I have all the pictures posted, there's not a lot of waste when you use those. And that other the other cards that I posted for my this or that last week, actually, there's very little waste when you use that one. Okay, let's run it through. And let's see. Isn't that pretty? I was debating which side to use, but I like the embossed side, I think, better. All right, what else do I need to cut? Oh, I need to make my frame. Okay, so let me put these away. I'm also going to need to die cut the bunny when I've stamped him. Okay, so there's my cutting plates. Where's my frame gone to? Here it is. Okay, so I'm using a Deckled Rectangle die. Yes, Shannon, I am dying to use it for like the other embossing folders that I have. The new. There's another one that I want to use it with. It's the, what do they call it? Oh, this one. This one, the Christmas Tidings embossing folder. I want to try that. And there's another retired one with the Christmas trees that I want to try as well. Okay, so I centered my frame. Let me just... Okay, and when I put this through, I like to turn it on an angle because then it doesn't make that cracking sound because you don't have one entire edge going under the roller. It goes in more gradually this time when you turn it on an angle, so that's why I'm turning it on an angle. And I don't know what all these black flecks keep showing up on my plates for. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know where they come from. Do you see that? I've got little black flecks. I have no idea where they came from. Anybody got any ideas? Oops. Okay. All right. So there's my frame. Okay. I'll put that aside. All right, so let's assemble a few things before I lose them, because you know that's half the battle. Trying to find stuff after you've created them. Okay, so here's my card base. Let's fold this and burnish it. Have you guys finished all your Thanksgiving leftovers? I don't know, some people give away their leftovers at the end of dinner, but we froze a bunch of it, and I made mac and cheese with ham last night, and I think I ate the last of the mashed potatoes yesterday at lunch. Okay, so there's my card base. Let's take my layers. Okay, so here's my DSP, and it's going on the bottom, so I think I will adhere that first. So I'm just going to take some tear and tape and do this. Ham on cheese pizza. Oh, excellent idea. I did not think of that, Sandra. I could do like a ham and pineapple. I'll have to remember that for next year. Actually, I still have ham in the freezer. Maybe that's what I'll do with it. Make ham and cheese pineapple pizzas. Shannon, do you have any leftovers? Okay. Oh, and who took advantage of the free shipping? I took advantage of free shipping. I had some out of stock items that I had to pick up that I owed somebody, and picked up some supplies. Sandra, you don't like pineapple on your pizza. Oh my gosh. I know, that is a controversial topic, I know. I do love pineapple on my pizza. Okay, so there's my DSP. And I'm going to use tear and tape for this as well. And I'm going to put it at the very edge so that it doesn't show up under my frame. Oh, okay, Shannon didn't cook a Thanksgiving dinner this year at the cottage. Guess you're off the hook when you go up there. I mean, you'd have to haul a whole bunch of food. Although you already are hauling a whole bunch of food. You have like so many kids to feed. Okay. Oh no, Shannon, you placed an order before the free shipping? That sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, I think Erin was like, she placed an order with me last month, and she was asking if I knew if there would be free shipping coming up soon. And I was like, I have no idea. I don't know. And sure enough, we had a free shipping day. Okay, so I'm going to try and center this because I want this to be underneath the frame of my picture. Let's hope this is centered. I'm just going to quickly take a look before I press it down. That looks pretty good. Okay. All right. So it's a busy enough background that I actually Well, yeah, you can still see the adhesive behind there, but it'll be good to hide it underneath the frame. So before I hide it underneath the frame, what I did do is I took some gold ribbon and I just covered the corner with it. Do you see that? I just wanted something, some kind of pop of color, and a bow was not doing it. I tried a few different things and it just wasn't working, but I liked having that little bit of gold ribbon. Oh yeah, that's true, Sandra. I could adhere the vellum to the frame instead, and then I'd be sure. But it was big enough that I was pretty sure that it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, that would be a good tip. Okay, so to get this underneath, I'm just going to cut off enough to wrap around the edge. So, and I'm going to put some adhesive on this side with my Stampin' Seal. Okay. I hope you're thinking about what we could do to add some bling, because I'm out of ideas. All right. So I'm just using the front. I'm doing it from the front so that I can see, you know, what it looks like. And it's good, and it's really fun and easy to be able to just take it off of the adhesive and then readjust it. So it's no problem. All right. So then I'm going to adhere this down. Oh, the red cardinal. Yes, that's right. I wasn't sure about the red cardinal. Like, would I do that? No, I think you're saying to put it on top of the vellum, but I just don't know. Like, it's almost like, I don't know. It would be, I'm thinking this through. Like, I feel like he's the only thing that would pop on this thing and kind of like in midair. And I'm not sure if I like that or not. I'm not sure. But let me put the frame on first. Let's put the frame on, then we'll do some stamping and get everything else in place. Yeah, I definitely thought about something red too, but the predominant color is yellows and orange, but a little bit of red would be good somewhere. I think I tried the red pearls, like from the Festive Pearls, and I didn't like it. It didn't look right. Okay. Yeah, I know. The DSP has some red leaves in already, and then you're picking it up with the red cardinal, the little bird. I just don't know where to place the bird that would look right. That's what I'm struggling with. Anyways, let's get these in place and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay. So I realized yesterday that Karis has outgrown her leggings. I mean, like, I knew that she was growing and I'd probably have to get her some more leggings, but it really hit me when she was wearing her leggings and I realized that they were more like capris on her. They're like 3 inches too short or something, and she's of course like, they're fine, they're fine. I was like, you can't go through winter with leggings that are that short. I mean, she has a whole bunch that are longer. She just chose to wear these fleece ones that were like capri length on her. There we go. Looks good. So now we have our scenery. Let's do some stamping. Wink of Stella. Okay, I'm reading Sandra's comments. Wink of Stella on the snowflakes. Oh, interesting idea. Crystal bling on the center of the larger snowflakes. All good suggestions. We'll have to try some things and see how they look. Okay, let me get these out of the way. We'll do stamping. Oh, shoot. I knew I did something wrong. This is reality crafting. Okay, well, let's hope that nothing... Okay, so what I forgot was what I did first was I did the stamping on the frame first before I adhered it. I knew I forgot something. Okay, let's do that, and hopefully the paper won't warp when I go to heat this. Fingers crossed. Reality crafting. That's what I mean. Okay. So I'm just going to put my whole card in here because I'm going to have to emboss right onto it. Okay, so where is my stamp? So this is from, the sentiment is from the Heartfelt Wishes, which is retired. I've been pulling out a whole bunch of retired stuff because I'm playing with my stash. I have a Stamp Your with Your Stash class coming up, and I've been playing with retired stuff, which is really great to combine it with new stuff. I have a card that I'm just so happy with, but I can't share it yet because it's not, I haven't had my class yet, but I'll post it for sure after the class is done. Oh, not that sentiment. I need, which one did I use? This Wondrous Season. That's the one I'm looking for. Right. Okay, so this is the one I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to position it on here and pick it up with my panel, and then I'm going to check. I always check on the back because the stamp image does not necessarily and quite frequently does not line up with the stamp on the front, right? So I always check on the back to see that it looks straight. And I'm just eyeballing it, and I think it looks okay. So because I'm embossing, I need to stamp with my Versamark. Of course, I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay, so my Versamark, and then I'm going to pour embossing powder on it. I'm just going to grab a stray extra piece of paper, scrap paper, to put this on. I know that those of you who are dedicated embossers have like separate Tupperware containers full of embossing powder, and that is definitely a convenient way to do it, but I just don't have enough storage space. So okay, so I'm going to emboss with, I have to ink this up with the Versamark. Okay. Press it in again. All right. And let's pour the embossing powder on before it dries. Oh, this is going to be tricky. I have like cracks that it could fall into. Okay, don't want to get it into my picture frame. I should have rubbed it with the embossing buddy beforehand. I always forget that step. I have like this little, so they send an embossing buddy, which I keep in here to keep it dry, with the embossing tray, which I have, but I'm too lazy to pull it out. But the embossing buddy takes away the static so that you don't have stray pieces of embossing powder sticking to your sheet. Uh-oh, I just pulled out. I can see there's an ink spot there that I accidentally flicked away some of the embossing powder, so I just poured it on again to cover it again. Okay, there's only tiny little pieces here and there, but it just looks better when there's not like stray pieces that get embossed onto the sheet by accident. Okay. Let me just pour this back into the container. I'm just tapping it to get all the loose pieces off. Okay, I have an embossing tool, which is not Stampin' Up. It's from my stash again. It still works great, so I'm not buying a new one. I'm just using what's in my... Oh, Sandra says any extra embossing powder will just look like snowflakes. Okay, so I just don't want the whole thing to warp. That's the thing. That turned out well. See, this side is lifting a bit because the heat made it warp a little bit. I'm just gonna try and straighten that out a little bit. Yeah, so it does warp a little bit, the paper, if you're not careful, if you heat it too long, but it's gonna be fine. All right, so now I have to create my sending love sentiment. So let's do this again with a piece of extra cardstock. I'm just going to try and find a scrap piece that I can use. Just checking my table behind me. Okay, I know I have tons of scrap here. Just finding the right size. So what does it sound like when I put the embossing tool on and it sounds like a big hair dryer? Does the audio automatically like mute it or anything? Or are you guys hearing like lots and lots of noise? I'm curious. Okay, I'm just figuring out if this is wide enough. This is barely wide enough. Let's see. I think this is also barely wide enough. I think it was just enough to... Okay, let's give it a try. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me if I were to try to talk over top of the embossing tool. That's the only thing. Okay, so let me clean off the other stamp first. Okay. And what did I do with sending love? Here it is. Yeah, it's basically a hairdryer. I just didn't know how loud it was because I think I heard somebody else, like another demonstrator, using it on a live, and somehow I don't know, the sound was like kind of not muted, but greatly reduced. Like it somehow realized that it was like ambient noise and somehow reduced it on the video. I don't know. In any case, I don't think I'll try and talk over it. It's only for a few seconds. All right, I'm just checking to see. Again, is this straight? And hopefully all of it will be on the piece of paper because it's just barely wide enough, but it's a convenient piece of scrap, and it makes it easier when it's small to... Sandra says it would sound like you were talking over the sound of a hairdryer. I just don't know if you could hear me, that's all. All right, so let's ink up Sending Love. And cross my fingers that the whole thing fits onto this piece of paper. Oh, just barely. Okay. Okay, I hope that's enough ink there to catch on to the all the embossing powder. Oh, and again, I forgot to rub it. See? Okay, let's see how this goes. But it is really handy. Oh, see, now there's a whole bunch of stuff stuck to this one. Let's see if I can tap it off. This one, okay, this is not going to turn out well because I have a whole bunch of stuff stuck to it. I don't know why it stuck so much, but I can't emboss it like that. It's going to be too messy looking. So I'm going to reposition it again, and I'm going to stamp it again. I'm going to throw this one out. This is probably, I won't be able to stamp on the other side. Okay, let's try that again. Right. I won't give anything important, say anything important during embossing. All right, so let's try this again. This time I'm going to remember to use my embossing buddy. I'm going to grab that other piece, that other strip. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, that's why I always line it up with something. So I knew where I lined it up before so that I knew that I could line it up again. Sometimes because the paper moves, but other times like this, when you want to line it up again, I'm using another piece of paper, but I know I don't have to reposition. I don't have to reposition my stamp because I'm lining up my paper in the same spot. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, that G is just off. And I'm not going to have much of an edge around it when I'm, so no worries. I'm just going to flip it over and we'll do it on the other side. Actually, I don't like this side. I don't know why. Might have gone through the cut and emboss. Let's do the other. Flip this around. I'm going to move it down just a tiny smidgen, and then my G will have a little bit more space around it so that when I fussy cut it, it will have a bit of a border. Wow, I don't think I've done this before. Having to redo the sentiment 3 times, but yes, I can't live without my Stamparatus. Me neither, Shannon. I hope they bring it back. Okay, that's a tiny bit better. Not a huge amount better, but it's better than it was before. I don't know if I have enough room. That is not very much room. Okay, take 3. Just gonna, this is fine. I'm just using like scrap bits. So this time I'm going to position it even lower so that I have more room. Okay, 4th time's a charm. Oh yes, the embossing buddy. Thank you very much, Sandra. Good thing I'm keeping up on the comments. All right. Here we go. Oh, now it's too close to the other side. Oh my gosh. I should just use, you know what, that doesn't matter because you can see that this will be on a blue background. It won't matter because it won't be able to be seen very well. It's the G that's dips down over the scenery that you can see that there's no, you wouldn't see that there's, you would see that there's not enough border there. So that matters more. All right, let's try this again. Oh, this is too close to the other side. Wow, that's going to be close. Okay, that's when you try to like save paper too much, I think. I am going to have to use just like a bigger piece next time. That's okay. These are all my scrap pieces. Yeah, I agree. Just use a wider piece next time. See now, see how like the embossing body made it not staticky so that I wouldn't get extra pieces. All right, so I'll just cut that part out. That's no problem. All right, let's pour this back in. And I'll get my tool out again. Let's go. So I was going to say something while I was embossing, and then I thought the better of it. So I usually turn my embossing tool on and I don't point it at my paper for the first few seconds because I don't want to overheat the paper because it can, I don't know how, does it burn or does it, it just makes it curl a lot more. Anyway, so I let it heat up first and then I aim it at my, my sentiment that I want to emboss. Whoops, I'm just gonna put the lid on my embossing powder before I knock it over. Okay, so this requires some fussy cutting, so you'll have to have some patience while I fussy cut this out. So fussy cutting is not my forte, but sometimes it just needs to be done. And I think it looks better fussy cut than it does if I left it as a straight block, like a straight rectangle. I just didn't think it had the same kind of impact. Okay. And I don't know about you, but every time I do fussy cutting, I always find I'm like gripping the scissors as if they're going to run away. And you'll see afterwards that there's like grooves in my fingers because I've been holding it so tightly. And I don't know why. I guess it's just I'm trying to keep control of where they're going. But really, it's not like I have to grip them so hard. I can see out of the corner of my eye that there are comments popping up, but I can't read them because I'm looking at what I'm cutting, and plus I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, I'm at that age where I have to take my glasses off to see things up close. I'll have to catch up with you guys in a second when I'm done. I hope there's no crucial observations in there while I am cutting and you're like saying stop. Okay, so it gets trickier when it's a sentiment and you don't have as much to hang on to. Like at the end, I'm like having a hard time holding on to my piece of paper. My goodness. I'm glad you guys are having a conversation. I can see like comments popping up. Can't read them. Yay, I got that little border on the G that I wanted. Almost there. Okay, so this is the hard part. This little thing at the end, I have barely anything to hold on to. And it's really hard. Okay, I'm just gonna snip this off so that I can cut the last little bit. There we go. There we go. We're done. All right, look at my finger. Can you see that? I've like got these dents in it. Like, surely this is not normal. Okay, glasses back on. The heck is going on? Oh yeah, okay. So I'm starting back up at standard, saying yes. I'm preheating the oven. I'm preheating the heat gun like an oven before I use it. That's right. Yes, Shannon. You know what? My sister is the same way. I think she told me a long time ago that she won't even consider getting most stamp sets when they don't have coordinating dies, because it's just a pain to cut fussy cut things. And yes, the Biggest Wish, that should definitely have a die set too. Okay, so I'm done this. Oh, what do I need to stamp next? I need to stamp my little bunny rabbit. Okay, my bunny rabbit is in here. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I always stick a whole bunch of stuff in here. Like leftover bits and pieces that I've cut that I might use the next time. I have like masking that I saved, because that's fussy cutting too. Where's my bunny? Where's my bunny? Oh, here he is. Okay. Where's my hat? Oh, over here. He's stuck. And I know where the birdie is. I'm still saving him from my my class the other day, a few weeks ago. All right, there's that. Where's my Misty Moonlight? So I stamped him in black originally, and I thought he looks too, it just didn't look right. So I stamped him in blue, and I think it looks much better. So I cleaned up my desk before this morning's live, and of course now I don't know where my Misty Moonlight is. Okay, found it. I need a scrap of white, maybe something not so small. Oh, here. I'm just cutting off a really long piece of white scrap. There we go. All right, that's all we need for little bunny rabbit. So I'm just tapping, you know, because some people feel like they have to press really hard, but really I'm just tapping on my ink pad because they're usually quite juicy and you don't need to press really hard. And then straight up and down on my paper. Okay, just gonna grab my chamois, clean him off, and I'll set him aside. Now I need to get my cut and emboss machine to die cut him. There's the bunny die. I'm gonna need to move those. Okay, so I'm just gonna position him, and I'm gonna put a little washi tape to hold him down, hold down the die so it doesn't move when it goes through. There we go. Okay. Well, I think this washi tape is at its end of life. I usually reuse it until it rips or something. Okay, so here's my bunny rabbit. Put this back in here before I lose him. And really, there's just the gluing to be done. So I like how because I did this on blue, I embossed on blue, it just kind of blends right in on the top part, and then it comes down and helps frame the picture. So I'm going to use glue to do that, and I have to remember I'm only going to put glue along the top edges so that it doesn't make it stick to the vellum. Which is not the end of the world, but I think it just sits better. Shannon, I don't know if you caught my tip on how to store your glue. I thought you would like this. I use a shot glass. And it fits perfectly. It's like I haven't used these shot glasses in years, and now they're coming in perfectly, and I use it to store my glue. Alright, so here we go. So I use my tweezers so it helps me position stuff without having to get my fingers in the way. And I think it's going to be good right there. Alright, talk to you later, Shannon. Thanks for joining. There we go. And my little bunny rabbit. Again, I'm going to make sure that I only put glue on the bottom half because his ears are sticking up over the edge of the frame. I'm just going to put him right here. All right. Here's where we came to my conundrum where I don't know how to finish this off. Like it's finished, but I feel like it's missing something. Okay, so we could try putting a red cardinal. We could try putting some bling. Okay, let's get out some. Okay, so I did think about putting the bling, which is like rhinestones. It's just I was debating whether or not, because I used gold up there, I didn't want to mix in silver, even though they're clear. I wasn't sure if that would look right. What do you think? Either that or the red cardinal, but then if I put the red cardinal on, where do I put him? Could I put him maybe up here? I don't know, because it's like he's a bright spot of red. I don't have any. I wonder if I have some. I have some gold sparkly gems. Like I almost tried genial gems because it's got a little bit of orange to it, and I was wondering if that might work. I also have these retired ones, which are the wonderful gems, which is clear with gold or red with gold. Yeah, I am torn. Like the red cardinal, the little red bird would be, it would stand out a lot. That's the only thing. I'm just getting him. And getting a bit of, let's see. I'm just looking for a piece of white scrap. Because, like, seriously, he just does not need that much. Okay, I have a piece of white. So let's consider all our options. So we have the genial gems, which is very close, I think, to this color palette. I could put it maybe here. Let's try, and let's just die cut. Oh, stamp it off. Stamp it off so he's not bright red. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so I had stamped off my bunny yesterday to see if it would a lighter gray would work well, but I didn't think it worked well, obviously, but I think the blue did. Okay, so if I do that and then I stamp it again, he's a lighter red. Very much lighter red. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to try like this, and then I'll do another one here. Oh, the one side didn't turn out quite so well. I pressed too hard, I guess. Let's try here. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, and I'm going to quickly just go use my cut and emboss machine. Where's my die? Oh, I know where the die is. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Here's my die. Sorry, it's not going to be fully on the screen because I don't want to crush all the stuff up here. I'll move it over a little bit. Okay, let's do the bright red one and the lighter one. Okay, I'm going to need a piece of sticky tape. Washi tape. Where did it go? Okay, I had a piece of Post-it note that I had written something else on that I don't need anymore, so I'll just use that. Okay. That's one bird. Whoops. And then I'll do the other one. Yeah, so I struggled with this for like quite some time yesterday. I just needed to get it done so I could post the cards so that we'd have something to vote on. So it feels unfinished. Here's a less red bird. Okay. All right. So let's just, I'm going to take my tweezers and we'll just position the birds and see how they look. So if I put it here, you're saying here, like here. I don't want to put them on it, I think. I don't know. Maybe like this. And maybe this. I'm not sure I like it stamped off. The real red is like so nice. I don't think the stamped off one works for me. Yeah, I know the, he does match the bunny. Maybe here, here. I didn't leave enough room there. Like if I, these, like the trees don't work like, size-wise, he's way too big against those trees. I guess he could be flying. I don't know. He doesn't look right just sitting there in the air. Like, maybe here? I'm not sure. And I'm wondering if I use maybe the Wonderful Gems or the Genial Gems on the ground. Sandra says on the ground. I just feel like it's somehow unbalanced with one spot of bright red, even though I do love him. Okay, so let's try maybe the Genial Gems, because they do, like, the color, surprisingly, looks really good together. Like, it matches, I think. Let me get out my Take Your Pick tool. All right, where would I put the Genial Gems now? If I put one, I tend to like the smaller gems because I don't like, just personal preference, I don't like the big fat gems as much, but they are part of the set, so there's not quite enough room there or there. See, this is the great part about using the Take Your Pick tool. Like, my fingers aren't in the way and I'm not trying to hold on to it. There. No. No. See, this is the problem I ran into. It's like, where do I put the gems? Because they just don't seem... Maybe that one's just too big. Okay, I'll put him back. I'll take the smaller one. If I put it like here. See, I'm not pressing it on, so I removed gems before, after the fact, because I didn't like how they looked. You know, when I put it against the navy, against Misty Moonlight, it's, you lose the color. It looks darker. I'm just going to pick it up to show you guys. Can you see that? It looks darker. It doesn't have the same color anymore as it does on a white background because it is kind of clear. So I don't know if that goes as well anymore with this paper, unless I put it maybe on the paper itself, but I don't know if it fits if I throw it on like a snowflake or... Yeah, I think they would have to be on the lighter color background, and I don't know if I like them on the vellum. See, this is where I got stuck. Yeah, it's too heavy for the snowflake. The snowflake's just it's so small, and like that gem is too big. And I'm thinking these are probably also too big. So again, I'm stuck. I don't have the right finishing touch for this somehow. Maybe a rhinestone? Because I have smaller, like the rhinestone comes in like the 3mm size, and those are smaller, so they don't take up so much room. Let me just move these. A Wink of Stella, that's what we should try next. Okay, so let's try a tiny one. Maybe the silver will work after all, like the rhinestones. It's again, where do I place them? I wonder when other demonstrators do their videos, like they seem to put down their gems, like, you know, without too much thought, but perhaps they've done all the trying out beforehand and they just put them down because they already figured out where it looks good. But me, I'm always sitting here going, where do I want to put these? On the snow. Oh, the Wink of Stella. Yeah, I don't know if it would actually show up very well. I'm not sure if that looks good like that. I feel like it should be like this angle instead. I'll move that. Like this. Well, that gives it a little bit of bling at least. Yeah, you know what, Sandra? I said the same thing to myself yesterday. It's like I didn't like mixing silver and gold, and it just didn't do it for me. Okay. I have one last option. Okay, let's pick these off. All right, I have champagne. Let me see if it's, oh, here. Okay, I have retired champagne jewels. I wonder if these would look better because it's a little bit of yellow, but it's not quite the same shade, you know? I can't believe I spent like 10 minutes on this. I'm sorry if you if you guys are bored watching the replay, but here we go. Sandra says to color with Misty Moonlight on clear. I do have clear polished dots. I don't know if I have Misty Moonlight in a blends marker. Don't know. I'm just checking. Oh, I do, but I don't know if they would give the same impact, only because they wouldn't give any sort of shine, you know what I mean? It would be texture. Let's just take a look at how these look. Today is all about reality crafting. Okay, let's try these ones. Put this here. Can you tell that it's not the right, it's not, it's more of an orangey, it's got an orangey tone or a pinky tone to it than the yellow. So I'm not sure these champagne will work either. What do you think? Yeah, I'm not happy with that. It's not the right color. Okay, let's put that back. All right. Well, you know what? I am going to leave it here for now. I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to think about it, and maybe I'll come back with some kind of revelation and think of something to put on the picture. Who knows? Okay, but I hope you enjoyed making the card with me anyways. I do like the little scenery, and I like the rest of the card. I just need something else to just to finish it off, and I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do the Wink of Stella. We'll see. But let's think about it. If you have any more suggestions, send them my way. But I hope you enjoyed crafting with me today, and have a great one, and hopefully I'll see you again next week. Bye, guys.